We be live. Shalom, shalom, everyone. Please make sure you like the stream. How's my audio? Gene already confirmed that my audio is good, but I would like the rest of you to also confirm, and also the clip audio. Let me actually play a little bit of the clip.
So many of the people. Anyway, look, I want to change just briefly to the other war, which we mustn't forget, which is the war between Israel and Hamas. And Basti, I'll start with you on this.
All right, so so the audio of the video that I just played is good. Yep, I think it's good. Yeah, I confirmed it on my own phone that it's fine. Guys, make sure you like the stream and confirm in the live chat that you have liked the stream. Gene is highlighting your comments. Thank you so much for your service, Gene. Highlighting everyone's comments so that everybody else gets to be part of the show. If people are confirming that they have liked the stream or counting their likes, please highlight them as well so other people get motivated. Gene is sending a private. Yep, the clip. The clip audio is a bit too low. I cannot fix that. It is what it is. It's this, you know, is it understandable? That's the only thing that matters. Okay, so let's just get started. I really need to respond to all the fucking I could reduce my audio. Maybe that way you could increase the. If I reduce my audio a little bit, maybe it will be the same audio. Okay, how about that? Is this better? Let me know. Anyway, I even shared. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your service. All right, let's just get into it.
Netanyahu has suspended the release of Palestinian prisoners because of the, as he puts it, the repeated violations by Hamas involving the ceremonies, which he says have been dishonoring the Israeli hostages, cynically using them for propaganda. So he's now delayed the release.
So this is in reference to the stream that we had before. We already covered this on this channel. You saw the disgusting display that Hamas had when it came to the releasing of the bodies of Israeli hostages. You know, it was vile. And then the forensic results showing that actually Hamas killed the children with their own bare hands, suggesting that they strangled them to death before releasing them, and then making it seem like they died under Israeli bombardment. It was vile and was disgusting. We went all over all the reasons why that was the most vile and disgusting behavior, that one of the most disgusting ones that we've seen for a while. And the world was shocked. Israelis were shocked. The rest of the civilized, I know the barbarians were not shocked, but the civilized world was shocked, and there was a lot of reactions to it. And then many people reacted to that reaction. The so-called pro-Palestinian or the resistance came out and said, like, oh, what about the thousands of babies that have died in Gaza? You shouldn't show the same amount of sympathy and care when they were dying. And I think you're going to see a lot of that over here as well. I'm going to respond to all of it. There's a lot of bad takes here. And again, it's so bizarre how the horrible takes that is just so nonsensical and so easy to refute, but they're just spreading like a disease. And that's why we're here. We need to just be here to respond to this bullshit, because I'm not saying many people respond in the way that we respond on this channel. Okay, I think like we're doing a very good job fighting this bullshit on this channel. This is why this channel needs to grow. That's why I need you to like the stream, okay, so that more people end up seeing this show. So let's respond to
this. Of the 600, I think it was, Palestinians that were due to be released in exchange. Now that's obviously a ratcheting up of tensions here. But I've got to say, just watching this from a distance, these scenes of Hamas in full force with all their regalia, putting coffins of babies underneath pictures of Netanyahu looking like the devil, beaming that to the world, sending back the wrong remains of that poor woman.
So Piers Morgan, you know, his problem is not that he doesn't condemn Hamas, okay? He condemns Hamas. He considers them to be terrorists, disgusting, vile behavior. The problem with Piers Morgan is that he both sides it. As if like, yeah, Hamas is doing evil shit and they're disgusting. However, Israel also, and that's where I want to call him out, okay? And Cenk is going to, some other people here are going to talk. I don't see a single person here that has a good take, I think, in my opinion. Even this lady who's pro-Israeli, I mean, I don't know. Let's try to be fair. She comes at it with from a religious angle, like oh, the Bible this, the Bible that. So I didn't see a single person on this panel have a good take on this. So I'm going to basically be responding to all of them.
Woman whose children were also murdered, etc., forcing one of the released hostages, it seems, to kiss Hamas terrorist standing there.
Oh yeah, did you guys see that? Okay, so good. We're gonna see the scene. So we got some more vile, disgusting scenes from Hamas's propaganda machine releasing hostages. Look, he's gonna show us this part. This is so vile. Watch this.
Also murdered, etc., forcing one of the released hostages, it seems, to kiss Hamas terrorist standing there. We got to. I'll show that clip actually before we discuss that. Let's just watch that moment.
Look at this. So you saw this is one of the hostages, is 3 of the hostages being released, and this Hamas media guy came and said something in his ear, and then he looked at the person, like he said in his ear, "Go like kiss this guy," right? And this is so disgusting. I don't even like showing this. It's so vile. It's so cringe. It's so evil. And I mean, we all know that these people are under pressure to perform. Every single time they're released, they come out and say, like, yeah, of course we were forced to do. And then look, and then he's looking at him, and then he does it. Look. And the crowd cheers. Look at this fucking vile, disgusting people. Like, do they not? How do people buy this propaganda? I see on Twitter, by the way, a lot of people posting this without this part that Hamas like told him. I mean, they didn't even, when it comes to propaganda, at least don't make it so obvious that this was staged and you told him to do it. Maybe you should have at least told him to do this before you put him on stage here, so you didn't make it so fucking obvious that this was under command of the people that they hold your lives in their freaking hands. These are people with guns that are deciding to release you, and yeah, of course I'm gonna do whatever the fuck these people tell me. How is this? But I mean, even if we didn't have it on screen that this was done under the command of this Hamas guy, we will still know what's happening. We will still know that this is all staged. But they didn't even bother to plan this ahead of time so that we don't have the recording of it being him being told to do it. We have it on screen that he was told to do it, and the crowd still cheers. People, I don't know, the crowd like has an IQ under, oh my god, negative IQ here. We're dealing with negative IQ here. And also all the pro Hamas, the so-called pro-Palestinian people on Twitter, just I saw some people posting only the part that he kissed, like, oh my god, look, these hostages, just fall in love with Hamas. Look how Hamas is treating the hostages. They just fall in love with them. This is how humane Hamas is. Fucking morons, idiots. Unfucking believable. How do people fall for this? Let me actually watch this one more time. So, look, let me go from the beginning.
We got to. I'll show that clip actually before we discuss that. Let's just watch that moment.
Yeah, sure. An Israeli citizen just loving the people who killed our friends, our families, just came at and done the most vile act of genocide just more than a year ago, just brutally killing innocent people. Yeah, I love these guys. These are excellent people, just the best of humanity. Fucking crazy. I'm sure that kiss is genuine. I'm very sure that kiss is very genuine. These people are in love.
Now you heard the deafening roars of approval there for what appears to be a conciliatory kiss by this hostage, Omar Shemtov. But his father's come out and said he did it under duress. He was forced to do it. We don't know yet. We want to hear it from him.
Oh, you don't know yet? Okay. I mean, what does your brain say?
But it certainly looked that way. Somebody goes up to him, talks to him, and the next thing he's doing that for the cameras, and it's obviously a huge propaganda moment for Hamas. So, I mean, Basia, it's all messy, it's all horrible, but the overriding imagery is that Hamas haven't gone anywhere. That this war was supposed to be the end of Hamas. They don't look like they're over, and they look like...
That is such a fucking idiotic take. Israel has devastated Hamas. This is the most perfectly executed operations in the history of Israel. This is, when it comes to victories, this was one of the best ones in the history of Israel. And they're like, oh, there are still Hamas members, enough of them around to be able to do a parade. I mean, okay, yeah, to do a celebration or set up an event. I mean, yeah, I mean, Hamas is at the level of events management. Okay, so gathering a crowd. Oh, Hamas is still alive and kicking. I mean, if setting up some cameras, having a couple of people in uniform, escorting some hostages and delivering to Israel makes you think like, well, they're still there. Okay, sure. I mean, we took them from a militant group with armed militant group capable of committing acts of terror and security threats against the state of Israel with equipment and resources from the Islamic Republic, Qatar, and others, and a network of tunnels that could cause nightmare to the Israeli people. We went from that to a Hamas that could gather a bunch of people, put them in uniform that they never use in battle anyway, and just record their propaganda. And they're like, oh, well, they're still there. I mean, what did you want Israel to do? For Hamas not to be able to do that, Israel would need to just wipe out the entirety of Gaza. What did you expect? I mean, look at the victory, the devastating blow upon both Hamas and Hezbollah and the rest of the axis of resistance, with such minimum level of casualties and cost to Israel itself. Do you understand? If we go back to the history of Israel and we look at what we consider epic victories of Israel, do you know the cost Israel had to pay for those victories? Do you know the number of soldiers, Israeli soldiers that died? The number of commanders, the number of pilots? Do you know that in the 6-Day War and all the Yom Kippur, all of the wars that the beginning, the war of the very first day of Israel's, the birthday gift Israel received from all the Arab neighbors in that war? Do you understand how many important Israeli soldiers died? How many Israeli planes were taken down? So go look how many Israeli planes were taken down in these previous wars that we consider epic victories for Israel. Now compare it to this war. Tell me how many Israeli planes have been taken down now. Tell me how many Israeli planes were taken down in this war. It's zero. It's fucking zero. Tell me how many Israeli generals were killed. Tell me how many Israeli high commanders were taken down. Fucking zero. Do you know the ratio? I mean, every single Israeli life being taken is a tragedy. But do you understand the ratio, the cost that Israel paid for this victory is astronomically lower compared to all the other wars that Israel has won? And we consider those epic victories. How is this not an epic victory? How is this not an epic victory? This actually shows that Israel has become stronger and more victorious. The gap between the power of Israel and its enemies is getting wider. If we keep going in this direction, we get to a point that all of Israel's combined would not be able to cause any security threat to any Israeli anywhere. If we keep going in this direction, And you're like, well, there's still some Hamas people there with a camera recording this shit. No fucking shit. No fucking shit. What? How? You know how easy it is to pull that off? Do you know even like, oh, people are like, oh, what a huge crowd there. I mean, I want you to do that. I mean, no, you know what? Fuck that. Fuck. I take all of that back. I take every single word that I said back. Hamas is still there and is strong as ever. Keep pushing that propaganda. That's fantastic. That works in our benefit. Then you know what? Get the fuck back in there and finish the fucking job. How about that? How about that? Hamas, would you like that? Hamas are like, oh, look, world, we haven't been defeated. We're still here. We're still strong. Oh, you really want to push that narrative? Like keep convincing Israeli citizens that their government has not finished the job in Gaza. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens after you release all the hostages. When you convince Israelis that, oh, their government hasn't finished the job yet. You know what? Erase everything I just said. Okay, yes, mission has not been accomplished. Hamas is still there. Hamas is still there, living and stronger than ever, in fact. Okay, let's see if you like the results of people coming up with that conclusion. Okay, you know what? This is good, actually. I'm not mad. Let's keep pushing that narrative.
Like they have a lot of popularity still with Palestinian people in Gaza.
You know, it says in Genesis, God tells Abraham.
Oh yeah, this is fucking shit. This is what we get from the pro-Israeli side. Okay, like this is the most obviously light versus darkness, good versus evil narrative that we fucking have in the world. We have human lives being devastated on both sides of the border with this evil fucking shit ideology. And I'm not talking about Hamas ideology. I'm talking about Islam as a whole fucking ideology, devastating people's lives. And it's such an obvious take to be able to come from a pragmatic perspective, from a human life perspective, from a stability and peace perspective, from an economic perspective, from every fucking perspective. It's so fucking easy to make the case for why Hamas is evil, the other side is evil, and we're on the side of good. We're on the side of civilization fighting fucking barbarism. And the first line, the pro-Israeli side, fucking Genesis said, fuck your Genesis. I don't give a shit what your like. Is this this is what your opening line is? Fucking shit. This is why I'm saying the pro-Israeli side doesn't know how to It's not very good at defending. Like, people keep saying Israel controls the media, Jews control the media. If there's anything they're still behind on, is controlling the media and controlling the narrative. Okay, the Israeli side is good at everything except media. How is this the anti-Semitic propaganda that the Jews are controlling the media? That is the one thing that we are behind on here. Fucking shit. Oh my god. Yeah. Let's see what the Genesis has to say. Great. Let's see. Okay.
They have a lot of popularity still with Palestinian people in Gaza.
Genesis.
You know, it says in Genesis, God tells Abraham, whoever blesses you will be blessed, and whoever curses you will be cursed. And I keep thinking of this as the perfect metaphor for those scenes from that parade.
So you did an amazing job, lady, making people think that the pro-Israeli narrative is also a religious narrative. Oh, they're just the same. They have their scripture. This other side has their scripture. So it's just a religion versus religion. Did you really need to quote scripture for me to introduce to me the idea of good and evil, that these people are fucking cursed? Like, I wouldn't have understood that if you didn't read me fucking Genesis. Thank you for using scripture, because we humans are incapable of understanding how evil Hamas is without quoting scripture.
Because, of course, to attend a parade in which the bodies of babies which have been strangled and mutilated are celebrated is accursed, right? To bring a child to a parade celebrating the strangling and mutilation of babies' bodies is
Oh yeah, guys, strangling of human babies is evil, and we know that because Genesis has told us that bad things are bad and bad things are bad, evil things are bad. I mean, yeah, quote a book that good and evil was defined by Abraham following a command to kill his own freaking child. Yeah, that book is telling us what good and evil is. Fantastic.
Cursed to live under a barbaric rule like Hamas that would put on a show like that is to be cursed. To be so morally
then
depraved
Israel's
is its
10,000
own
times more cursed.
punishment.
10,000. Israel is 10,000 times more cursed. Oh yeah, because Israel is killing the babies in Gaza. You fucking idiot. How fucking you know what? I know I'm swearing too much today, and probably YouTube is gonna demonetize to me. But you know, fuck it. Fuck all of this shit. I don't care. I'm gonna swear. I don't get. This is so insane. How is this? We have been through this for years. How are people still making this shit argument? Israel is not killing Gazan civilians. It's Hamas that is killing its own civilians. Do I even need to make that point anymore? Guys, can somebody tell me what would Israel get out of killing Gazan babies? How would that be even a strategic benefit to Israel? Why would they want to do that? Why would they want to kill Gazan babies? They don't want to do that. They're trying to avoid that. Even if Israel was pure fucking evil, what strategic benefit would that have for them? How would that make any fucking sense? I think people don't even know how to. People who think like, oh, well, this is because they're killing babies to reduce the populations of Gaza. You fucking morons! Within the past year, there have been more. If Israel is trying to reduce the population of Gaza by killing them, then Jews don't know how to count, apparently, because they're not noticing the population of that area doubling from birth. Like, how the numbers of people being killed in Gaza, even though it's very high, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing compared to the population growth of Gaza. It's not even making a dent in reducing the population. This makes no sense. Even if you just throw out morality out, this even makes no strategic sense. This has nothing but cost for Israel. Even if Israel was pure evil, from a propaganda sense, they would love to be able to kill Gazan terrorists without killing any civilians or any babies or any children, because at least it would win the propaganda war. And this is fucking obvious shit. This is fucking obvious shit. How do you think that civilians in Gaza are being killed by Israel? They're being killed by Hamas. Hamas admits that. Hamas fucking admits that. How do you not get this? Oh yeah, people are saying in the chat. Vicky, thank you so much for the super chat. Vicky saying keep swearing. Mars is saying hopefully this helps. Swear away. Yogurt is something else. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you for the support. Okay, let's go.
And I think that is the point here, Piers. This is the beginning of the end, not just of Hamas, but of the left that defended them. Because, the left thinks Israel is the Palestinians' curse. It is the left who have cursed the Palestinians with their support because they are pro.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, lady. All of that is true. Okay. Thank you for saying something that makes sense.
Left who have cursed the Palestinians with their support because they are prolonging the moral depravity that has earned the disgust of every good human being on planet Earth. And I am so...
It's not your turn, motherfucker. Just wait for your turn.
Grateful that my government, Donald Trump, the United States of America, stands with the Jewish people against such pure, absolute evil.
Stand with the Israeli people, okay? It's not just the Jewish people. We stand with the Israeli people. Lady, do you know some of the hostages were Israeli Arabs? Do you know some of the hostages were Israeli Arabs? Okay, you know that? You lady, it's not just the Jewish people, okay? Israel. I love Israel because Israel was as aggressive in saving its Arab Israeli citizen hostages as its Jewish citizens. This is one reason why I love Israel. So it's not just we stand with all Israeli people, whether they're Jewish or not.
America stands with the Jewish people against such pure, absolute evil, because it truly is going to be a new.
Oh, Judith is saying, I love you for getting angry for this sad, tired Israeli Jew. Oh, you're talking about yourself? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry that you're sad. Yeah, I understand that. It's devastating. It's fucking devastating. But don't be too tired, because you're winning. Guys, you're fucking winning. You're winning this battle, okay? And the anti-Israeli narrative is fucking losing. They lasted a year. Eventually evil will show itself to be evil. You're going to win not just the military battle, but you're also going to win the idea, the thoughts and minds of people. You're going to win that battle. The things are moving. Israel is stronger than ever. Just look at this war and compare it to your previous wars. You are stronger than ever. You should be proud of yourself. Things are going in your direction. Okay, be optimistic. I'm optimistic.
New era. There is no going back from a parade celebrating the
and non-Jewish foreign workers as well. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you for reminding us. There were Thais. There were, I don't know who else was there, but like all of them.
Era. There is no going back from a parade celebrating the mutilated, strangled bodies of babies.
Okay.
Yes, Hamas. Good job. Basically, all these fucking idiotic leftists in the United States, Canada, and Europe were constantly trying to make it act like you're not pure evil, and you managed to completely destroy all of that propaganda with one event. Fantastic. Good job. And guys, I know that event was so infuriating to watch, but the silver lining is that they made it so obvious how fucking evil they are, right? So in a sense, like, you know what? Good on you, Hamas. Thank you for destroying more than a year worth of investment in propaganda to whitewash your fucking act of genocide. Okay, thank you for making all of that go down the drain in one day. You know what? I support you doing those types of events. Let the whole fucking world see the disgusting monsters that you fucking are. You know what? I take that back. I wish you would keep doing events like that. How about, I know it's devastating to the families, but at least, and the rest of Israeli people, but at least the world will see your true nature. So it has at least that utility.
Shank?
Yeah. So what Hamas did is so stupid, and I totally agree that it's immoral.
Wait for the buts. Okay, wait for the buts.
So what Hamas did is so stupid, and I totally agree that it's immoral. But are we ever going to talk?
But there's always a but. Let's see what the but is. But are we going to what? Here's a whataboutism. Okay, and I wish the whataboutism was actually pointing at something that was evil, right? But it's not. Like, even if Israel was actually evil, this would still be whataboutism. But let's see what the but here is.
Shank?
Yeah. So what Hamas did is so
don't get a vile, disgusting, monstrous Hamas propaganda event celebrating the strangling of babies as victory in front of the cheering crowd, get in the way of our anti-Semitism trend that we're trying to promote here, right? Like, guys, let's get back on the anti-Semitic train. Like, this is a distraction.
Yeah. So what Hamas did is so stupid, and I totally agree that it's immoral. But are we ever going to talk about the 15,000 dead children that?
Yes, Shank. We're constantly talking about it. We're constantly condemning it. Okay, but unlike you fucking idiot, we know who to condemn. We have always condemned the killing of Gaza. First of all, I don't know if your numbers are correct because you're getting those numbers from Hamas. But let's say the numbers are true, and in fact, they're more than that. Okay, they're more. They're even more. Every single one of those numbers babies dying. It's a tragedy. It's a absolute fucking tragedy. Who killed them? Who killed them? Did Israel? Yeah, guys, don't you hate it when IDF pilots get on their plane and they're like going and bombing Gaza? Like, ooh, let's go kill some Gazan babies today. Let's go kill some Gazan babies today. Don't you like it? Don't you hate it when Israeli commanders go like, hey guys, let's try to get more babies today, huh? Let's try to kill more Gazan babies today. Which one do you think is happening here? Do you think like the commanders in Israel are sitting around the table like, guys, how could we, like, we're not getting enough Gazan babies. We're not like last we only got to 10,000. We were hoping to get 20,000 at least Gazan babies. Huh? And like let's get those numbers up. Do you think this is what's happening? Or do you think like they're in their command center, they're sitting and they're saying that, oh, so we need to flatten this area so we get the soldiers in. We need to try our best to tell, like, this is the evidence that we have to get the population out of that area, drop leaflets, phone call, do explosions above every building so that we warn the people out of there. Hamas is not letting people out of that area. They're shooting at Gazans to leave that area, send soldiers in to remove that blockade so the Gazans could leave before we could do our area operations. Oh no, like we told people to go to this area, but we have intelligence that there's a Hamas commander right in the middle there. Okay, then we need to do a calculation how important this Hamas commander is. If we take him out right now, if we use a bomb that will make sure that will kill it, there's civilians at that area, this many civilians will die. Let's use the calculation that we have. Is killing this commander, is it as a strategic is an important strategic target enough that would end this war sooner so that less people will die relative to the people who are going to die around this commander if we take him out? Which one do you think is happening based on the evidence that we saw? Based on the evidence that we saw, every time we have civilians in Gaza dying, it was the civilians themselves were not the fucking target. They were not the target. Guys, from Israel has managed to pull off a lower than average ratio of civilian to combatant casualties in an area that has the second highest population density in the fucking world, the second or third. Do you understand how much you have to be trying to reduce civilian casualties when you manage to get that less than average civilian to combatant casualty ratios in such a high density population area? And not only that, fighting an enemy that doesn't wear uniform in fucking battle on purpose. Why? Guys, tell me fucking, Jake, tell me fucking this. Why? This is an obvious fucking question. If you want to deny all the intelligence information that we have, that Hamas puts its resources and its weapons and its soldiers right where the civilians are, okay? If you want to deny all of that intelligence, then tell me fucking this. Why would Hamas doesn't wear a uniform in battle? Why doesn't Hamas wear a uniform? We saw in the videos that you just fucking showed us that they have uniforms. They have uniforms. We just saw the fucking uniforms. Why are they so fucking clean? Why are the uniforms so fucking ironed and clean? Is it because they are never used in battle? Have you ever seen a Hamas kill by Israel in Gaza that died wearing a fucking uniform? These fucking cowards. Is it anything other than making it difficult for Israel, for the IDF, to distinguish between Hamas fighters and civilians? Is it anything other than that? So imagine the idea. Like, guys are like, oh my God, 40,000 people died, 50,000 people died. And they talk about these numbers as if all of these are civilians, okay? A huge portion of that is the combatants. But every single one of them that are innocent or children, and it's a fucking tragedy, those numbers are high. but they're low. These numbers are low, and it seems when you tell people that 40,000, 50,000 is a low number, people think that you just don't care about people's lives. But it's low compared to what other wars, the casualties that we had in previous wars. This is a much lower number compared to before. And it's also extremely lower than United States. Israel has managed to have a lower casualty of civilians relative to combatants in Gaza than United States achieved fighting ISIS in Iraq and Syria with lower population density. Do you understand the amount of care the IDF has to put in place for the Gazan civilians to be able to achieve that? This is the most moral fucking army in the history of modern warfare. No army in the world has shown this level of care for the civilians of the other side. You fucking idiots. You fucking idiots. And then you dare bring up these numbers to this event, to a baby that Hamas killed on purpose, even if you don't buy that narrative. You're like, oh, the forensic investigation, well, it was done by Israel. We cannot trust Israel. Fuck you. Fuck you. Okay, Israel has a very self-critical media, and Israel has shown that when it does something that is a mistake, that kills civilians by a mistake, it comes and admits it. So the justifiable belief right now is that the forensic evidence is right. But even if you don't fucking believe that, even if you don't believe the evidence that shows that Hamas killed these babies on purpose with their own bare hands, imagine how that's a slow death. Imagine a baby dying that slowly. Imagine the man that put his hand around the neck of a little baby and slowly suffocated that baby to death. Like the monster that you have to be. We have nothing like that on the Israeli side, on the IDF side. Imagine if Israel came out and took the babies of Gazans that died in Gaza and used them as prop to celebrate their victory. This is night and day. This is so fucking different. But even if you don't, this is what I was going to say, even if you don't buy the forensic the data that we have, the evidence that we have, you know that Hamas took those babies. I mean, who the fuck takes babies as hostages? Who the fuck takes babies as hostages? Putting them, knowingly taking them into a war zone that you know, that you planned for Israel to come and bombard. Even if they died under bombardment, which they didn't, you brought them on purpose under bombardment, you fucking monsters. Anyway, let's listen to the rest of this fucking bullshit.
Israel slaughtered. You want to talk about cursed? If you think the Palestinians are cursed,
yeah, people are saying like, oh, it was the Palestinian civilian raiders who took them hostage. Guys, people are like, oh, it wasn't Hamas. It was like, I get it. You're right. It wasn't Hamas. It was the civilians. Guys, I can't tell the difference. Okay, many of these civilians, you're like, oh, they were the civilians. The civilians are many of them are fucking Hamas. Like how could you, a civilian? Like, this is Hamas ideology. So I'm not trying to, it's just the lines are so fucking blurry. Honestly, if you're a Gazan, unless you come out and condemn Hamas, I'm going to consider you Hamas. But you're right. I understand your point, Noam, but I just want to make clear, like, who can tell them apart?
because of 36 children killed during October 7th. How cursed is Israel for the 15,000 children that they slaughtered? They crushed their skulls. They lit them on fire. They just...
Oh, yeah, they were trying. They were fucking moron. They were targeting the babies. They were targeting these
destroyed and killed. They crushed their skulls. They lit them on fire. They destroyed and killed tens of thousands of children. And now you're saying, oh my God, because I see one with my own eyes, that's Israeli. Oh, the Israeli lives are worth what? 10,000 Palestinian children? 100,000 Palestinian? Is there any number of Palestinian children that you would have any sympathy for? So screw.
Yeah, I would have sympathy. I would have sympathy for a single Gazan baby, even if they have a tiny little scar on their little finger and crying about it. I would even have sympathy for that. You fucking monster! Like, why do these motherfuckers keep trying to act like the other side is doesn't care about civilian lives? You just don't listen. You just don't understand what the point is. Oh, wait, let me see. We got a super chat here. Ginga is saying chunk yogurt. Oh, I don't like that joke. I don't like that joke. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that as an insult. Okay. He is using taqiyya. He's not using taqiyya. I think he genuinely believes what he's saying, but I also don't like that insult, to be honest. Okay, because yeah. But thank you for the super chat, though. Anyways, let's continue.
Through Hamas, but that does not justify Israel slaughter after slaughter after slaughter and go, oh yeah, Hamas made me do it. Hamas didn't make you do it.
Yes, Hamas made them fucking do it. This is the example I always give. Okay, if somebody comes to my house, okay, and I have 3 children, kills one of them, takes one of them from a hostage, and then leaves, promising to come back and finish the job with my last child and my wife and myself at some point. And then I go grab my gun, go to his house to free the child that he took hostage, and also do something that he could never come and do this ever again to my house, to my family, right? If I get to his house and he's holding my child in his arms, okay, and he also holds his own child in his arms, and I have a gun and I want to take him out, and while trying to take him out, if his child dies in this exchange, I didn't kill his child. If he's holding his own child in his arms to stop me from killing him, knowing that he has my child and that he has promised to come for my other children, if I take him out and in the process his child dies, I'm not the murderer of his child. He's the murderer of his own child. I mean, it doesn't make it any more fucking clear. This is so fucking obvious. What the fuck am I supposed to do? This man has promised to come and kill the rest of my family. Just because he is holding his own children as shield, am I supposed to do nothing? Is there any way that I could have done this with less civilian casualties? No army in the world has been able to do operations like this with less civilian casualties. And instead of congratulating Israel for being the most humane army in the fucking world, you act like they're committing fucking genocide. If this was genocide, this was the most failed attempt of genocide in the history of genocides. Fucking idiots. This is so fucking obvious.
Israel is reveling in it. It is now a terrorist.
Oh yeah, they're reveling in it. Oh my God, Israel government, like yes, we killed so many guys and babies. Fucking idiots.
Do it. Hamas didn't make you do it. Israel is reveling.
Hamas admits that this was the fucking plan. You fucking idiot. This was their plan. What do you think the plan was? Do you think October 7th was planned, thinking that they were going to completely destroy Israel? Do you think they imagined that they could fucking destroy Israel in one attack like that? The whole plan was to get Israel to be forced to defend itself and to be forced to do something where civilians in Gaza die, to turn the world against Israel. This was their plan. This was their master plan. They admit it, you fucking idiot.
And go, oh yeah, Hamas made me do it. Hamas didn't make you do it. Israel is reveling in it. It is now a terrorist state. It's rolling tanks into the West Bank. They've taken Trump's ridiculous plan in Gaza as a green light. And of course, this was all arranged ahead of time. That's why Netanyahu supported Trump.
Oh, that was the green light. That was the green light. The fact that these are monsters that are coming after the civilians, that was not green light. That was not a green light for the Israelis. The fact that these people are intent to eliminate every single Israeli and Jewish person from the entirety of the planet, from everywhere in the world. This was not a green light. They needed Trump. Oh, we got another super chat. Anne is saying, why don't more Arabs support Israel, given that they are eliminating their direct oppressors, Hezbollah, Assad, Houthis, etc. Well, I mean, more Arabs are starting to support Israel, to be honest. And I think it has less to do with Israel. I think these are Arabs around the region. A lot of them don't like the growth of the axis of resistance because it's being done with the leadership of the Islamic Republic. And they're noticing that Israel is just taking out the arms of their arch enemy, and they're freaking celebrating that. A lot of Arabs are actually, some of them secretly, some of them openly, are celebrating that. So this is happening. So it's growing. It's a growing. There's more Arab support for Israel in the region than before, and it's growing faster than even the most optimistic people recognize. So it is happening. These are Arabs that are. Oh wait, I deselected a super chat by mistake. Let me see. Jinja. Let's bring it back. Jinja is saying Chunk is a successful man which has its own network. I don't believe he's that stupid. He knows he's spitting out BS. Okay, so I don't think so. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. But being successful at media does not make need. You just have to be very smart at marketing and being very confident in speaking and being passionate about what you're saying. These things make you successful. You don't have to actually have correct takes to be successful at media, right? So I cannot read his mind and think like, oh, he's lying. He many people who have genuinely bad ideas, who believe in it, become very successful at spreading their bad ideas. So it's not necessarily because we cannot assume what's going on in people's minds, right? But you might be right. I don't know. He might be lying. He might be knowing that he's bullshitting, right? Roy, hey, Roy is here. Roy is saying Cenk believes that special forces are magic. He always says that Israel should have used them to rescue all of their hostages, like Rambo. Yeah, I think these people watch too much. They watch Hollywood and they think that, oh yeah, why wouldn't they just send their special forces that just take all the hostages there? Yeah, these people have very little understanding of how military operations work. And they think like, yeah, Rambo is real life. You could just send somebody and just take them all out. Yeah, sure. They don't, instead of comparing it to what every other military has been capable of doing in the history of modern warfare, they compare what Israel has done with Hollywood movies. And they're like, why don't they just do that? Exactly. That's Roy has a very good take. That was a very good thing. Let me see. Gina saying, I think he meant a fucking joke. Like the, I don't know which one you're referring to. The insult? Okay, I don't know. Maybe I mistook that insult. Sorry if I misunderstood.
That's why Trump got 300.
Yeah, D is saying it's not a video game. Exactly.
37.
I think like if you guys at least go listen to objective analysis by military expert, so you understand what people are capable of doing in the real world, not in your fantasy la la land. Maybe actually go and read some. You don't have to be a military expert yourself. You only have to go read analysis. But I mean, that's not going to help because you're going to be saying like, oh yeah, all of this analysis is being funded by Zionists and Jews. Like all the analysis that disagrees with me is Jewish funded. So yeah, that's not going to work with these guys.
$7 million from the Adelson family. So now they're rolling tanks into the West Bank to slaughter more Palestinians.
Wait, what did he say? Did he just confirm what I just said?
That's why Netanyahu supported Trump. That's why Trump got $337 million from the Adelson family. So
Adelson, is that a, let me see. Adelson family. I don't know. Is this a, who is this a Jewish family? I want to see if this is is this a Jewish family? I just want to see if this is part of Jewish conspiracy theories. Let me see. Just give you. Oh yes. Yeah. Just as I talk, just when I said like, oh, it's not gonna work because these people think that everything that they disagree with is just funded by Jewish money. The guy like, guys, I didn't plan this; it just happened. Like, right on. Fucking hell. Did you like that? Did you like that? Like when I said, like, oh, these people, he's just gonna say it's Jewish funded. He just mentioned. I had to check. Like, let's not make accusations without double checking. And yep. As I predicted, he's just gonna blame Jews, just blame the Jews right after the fucking enemies of Israel come out and show their true colors and how disgusting and vile and evil they are. It still doesn't blame. It still doesn't stop these people from blaming the Jews. Just find the Jew to blame. Guys, just find. It's always the Jews, guys. It always comes back to blaming Jews for every fucking thing under the sun. Anything that goes wrong in this world is either Jewish crime or Jewish funded or Jewish propaganda. Fucking hell, man. These people. Holy shit. Unbelievable. This is them showing the anti-Semitism here is through the roof. Oh yeah, Gene is saying yes, they are Jewish millionaires in media. Okay, there you go. Fucking hell.
So now they're rolling as a green light. And of course, this was all arranged ahead of time. That's why Netanyahu supported Trump. That's why Trump got $337 million from the Adelson family. So now they're rolling tanks into the West Bank to slaughter more Palestinian children. So
yeah. They're not rolling their tanks there to defend their country, to defend their citizens from monsters that want to come and kill every single fucking one of them. That's not why they're rolling the tanks there. They're like, hey guys, these people are not a threat to us, but we just love killing babies. Oh my god. I mean, we Israeli people, we cannot continue without killing Gazan babies. Like, we just have to do this. This is just a need. YouTube, I'm not saying this is, I'm making fun of these people, right? That's what this is all about. You know, this is not an existential threat to Israel. These people do not want to mass slaughter every single Israeli that they could get their hands on. No, it's not that. That's not why Israel is doing it. It's not defending its country. Just Israeli people just have this thirst for just killing civilians. That's why they're rolling their tanks there. I mean, is this not fucking anti-Semitism? I mean, how could you have that worldview? How could you have that worldview that is Israeli government is just has this pure desire of killing innocent people, and this is what is driving them? How could that be your view of the world? How divorced from reality do you have to be to say that? It's fucking insane.
I hate that both sides are doing this, and I hate that Israel is doing it 15,000 times more, because that's how many more babies they've killed and children that they've killed than the one that the entire US and Western media is focused on. Can we?
Oh, fucking idiot. If the gruesome nature of this killing and the way that they paraded it, that's why everybody's focusing on it. All the media would be focusing on the other side if we had the IDF. Okay, so he thinks like, oh, the media is so hypocritical. We have 15,000 babies dying from, I don't know where he gets his numbers, but okay, 15,000 babies from this side, but we have one baby from this side. Do you know the level of anti-Israeli hatred that would spread across the entirety of the planet if Israel took one of those babies, and put them in a coffin and brought them in Tel Aviv, and they had a parade around it and did celebrations around it? Do you understand the backlash around the world if it was shown that IDF soldiers strangled one of these babies on purpose, killed them? Not that those babies that you're referring to, they were not targeted. Do you understand the reason? The reason the numbers are this different is not because Hamas wants the numbers to be lower. It's because it can't get the numbers any fucking higher. So let's say the numbers are 10 to 1. The reason why the numbers are 10 to 1, let's say, for example, let's say Israel is killing 10 times more civilians than Gazans are killing Israeli civilians, okay? The reason why it's 10 times more is because Israel could not get it lower. Israel could not get it to 9 times. Israel tried to get it lower but couldn't. And the reason why the Gazan number isn't higher is because they also couldn't. Because they were trying to get it higher and they couldn't. Do you understand how important? Guys, I want you to understand this fact. Even if Israeli actions is killing more civilians, it's because no matter how much they tried, they couldn't reduce the number. And the only reason why the Gazan civilian kills are not any higher is because they tried to get the civilians higher and they couldn't. It's not because of the lack of intention. It's because of the lack of capability. So you want Israel to apologize for having a stronger army, for having better weaponry? Do you understand how important this is? Do you understand that if Hamas was as powerful as Israel, and Israel was as powerful as Hamas, there would be no Israel. Do you understand that if Israel wanted today to wipe out every single man, woman, and children in Gaza, it would take less than 24 hours to accomplish this mission if they wanted to. The only reason why Gazans are alive is because Israel doesn't want to kill the civilians. The only reason why Israeli civilians are alive is because Hamas can't kill them. The reason why Gaza civilians are alive is because Israel doesn't want to kill them. The reason why Israeli civilians are alive are because Gazans can't kill them. Gazans are alive because a lack of desire for Israel to kill them. Israelis are alive is because of a lack of capability for Hamas to kill them. This is a very important. If you understand this difference, you want. So a leftist mindset doesn't understand that power doesn't make you evil. That's why they only count the numbers of casualties. And that's why they will always defend the weaker side, even if the weaker side is evil, because they look at the number of people who are being killed, and they always assume the people who are getting the most killed must be the evil side, because they see powerful to be synonymous with evil. That's how a fucking woke mindset works. That's not how a liberal mindset works, because liberalism makes you strong, and liberalism welcomes getting stronger. So some people on the far right, again, I'm not talking about people who are labeled as far right, I'm talking about genuine far right. They think power makes whoever is powerful is good. And some people on the far left think whoever is powerful is evil. The liberal mindset understands that you have to become powerful and then use it for good. That's why they count number of people. This is why you cannot decide who's on the wrong side based on the number of casualties. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. The intentions matter here. And Cenk doesn't think the intentions matter because they're like, oh, I'm just counting bodies. Well, intentions matters because the people with the worst intentions, if you support them, they will get more kills. But the people with the best of intentions, if you support them, they manage to reduce the kills. If you support Israel with a better economy, with more advanced weaponry, they will be able to get their attacks more targeted. If you support the side that has worse intentions, they will be able to get more casualties. That's why intentions matter. That's why it's not just a numbers game. You have to actually look at the intentions. Wait, Anne is saying, can Israel escape the genocidal state message being spread in the long run? How? An opinion on people saying Arab countries don't want refugees and why? Israel just has to keep winning. Eventually, people will come to the side of the Israel should just keep fighting on the side of team life, because eventually the better way of life will demonstrate itself to be the right side. This is not. I know this goes against what we're doing in this channel, because we're advocating, we're trying to defend Israel, we're trying to doing advocacy work and convince people that Israel is on the right side of this. However, at the end of the day, just succeeding and living better and having the higher values eventually will make you win. These propaganda will only have short-term results. I always make the example. During the, when the rise of communism, a lot of academia was on the side of communism and the propaganda was on the side of communism. But capitalism won, because eventually when people were living on the two sides of the Berlin Wall, what took down the Berlin Wall was not people coming out and making academic arguments for the capitalist side being better. People could just see that they wanted to live on the west side of the Berlin Wall instead of the east side of the Berlin Wall. Just winning and living better lives would just make it apparent at some point that who is on the right side of things. So just keep winning and keep living better lives and keep standing up for the best values. Eventually, the truth will win. Anyways, let's continue with this.
We not see
Shank,
that when it's an
Shank, how
Israeli
many
baby,
parades were
that the whole
Shank,
world
how
is
many-
like, this is the most important thing in the world. But
Shank,
I don't,
how
and I
many
don't mind that
parades were there?
1%. But then don't tell me that 15,000
How many parades
Palestinian
were there
babies
in
are not
Israel
important.
celebrating the casualties in Gaza? I mean, how many
They
parades
are.
were
They're all
there of
celebrating it.
Israelis
The polling in Israel is
celebrating
through the
the
roof
dead
with more slaughter in Gaza.
children?
All right, let me bring
Just-
in.
just
All
a
right,
few-
let me bring
just
in
a few
Dave Smith.
facts here.
Let me bring in Dave. Dave.
Because I actually think, listen, but first off, let me just say, I almost look, that was sickening, that video, the reports of what was done to these hostages. And I don't know that all this evidence has actually been released, and we'll maybe find out at some point.
Maybe you should have looked into this before you came here. What the fuck, man?
But it's all sickening and horrible. And I hate to even use it to then try to win a political argument after it. I mean, it is.
I mean, you don't know. I mean, this channel has how many subs? Like more than 3 million subscribers, right? This video has gotten 500,000 views. This is a very rich, resourceful channel. Are there no fact checkers back there so that they could like give Piers Morgan the evidence so that people are like, oh, we don't know what happened. Like, do some fucking fact checking. Can you not hire an intern there that is just bringing you the evidence so that these people are not spewing shit left and right? Can somebody not just come like, oh, we actually have the evidence, like here's the forensic information, this is what they say, these are what we have? Like, is that so hard to fucking do? I mean, I can do that on the small channel. I can do that here. Maybe well, how could you not do that? Oh, fucking hell.
Look, there is no questioning. It is sickening to see like a big crowd celebrating these things. I do think, like Bacha, you make a fair point. It's like, yeah, okay, we don't exactly see the same type of kind of primitive brutality on the Israeli side. There is this tremendous bias, though, I think, toward I don't know exactly how to say this. It's like a more an anti-barbaric bias. So
it's yeah, like we have anti-barbaric bias. I wonder why. I wonder, like, oh yeah, we like people are biased against Hamas because on one side we have a civilized society, and on the other side we have barbarism. I wonder why people have this anti-barbarism bias. I wonder if that's a justified or unjustified bias.
If Hamas runs in and is just gunning down random people, there's something where that triggers a certain reaction out of something, whereas, collateral damage or targeted strike.
Why are you doing air quotes? Who is this motherfucker who's doing air quotes around collateral damage? He's, you know what the argument he's making? He's saying like Hamas. When we see how Hamas kills people, we see that as barbaric. But when an Israeli pilot kills people, because it looks less barbaric, we are less triggered by that. But at the end of the day, they're both killing people, and that pilot is actually killing more people. And we are, because the Hamas's way of killing people looks more barbaric, we have this biased mindset against him. But the IDF pilot is basically doing the same thing, but it just looks more civilized. That's a fucking bullshit take, because your take would only make sense if the Hamas pilot was going there. I'm like, oh, let me kill civilians. Oh, like the commander's like, oh, let's kill the civilians. That's the only framework where this would make more sense. Would this one make any sense? But that's if the collateral damage was actually genuinely air quotes collateral damage. When he does air quotes, that means that these are not actual collateral damage. So what is the alternative for them to be a collateral damage? That means they were actually targets. This motherfucker, by doing air quotes when he's saying that collateral damage, he's suggesting that the pilots were targeting the civilians. We're trying to kill the civilians, just like that. But the only difference is that he's doing it in a civilized way from his plane. The Hamas guy is doing it with his machine gun, so that looks more barbaric, or with his bare arms. But they're both intending to kill civilians. Fucking bullshit. It's not just how it looks, it's also the goal here. It doesn't just look more barbaric, it is more barbaric. The Hamas the Hamas fighter is actually trying to kill civilians. The pilot isn't. It's not just a matter of looks, it's also a matter of intentions. Did you guys catch that air quote? Go find another channel that is analyzing this the way I am. Okay? Go see how somebody else is fucking destroying these people like the way I am. This is why you need to support this channel. This channel needs more subscribers. Get this channel growing. Look at the air quotes the motherfucker is doing. Oh, by the way, Bar is also celebrating his 10-month membership, saying, of course, it's another Jewish conspiracy. Oh, referring to what Jenks said. Yeah, exactly. But let's look at the air quotes. Look
Hamas
at the
runs
disgusting.
in and is just gunning down random people. There's something where that triggers a certain reaction out of something. Whereas, collateral damage.
Collateral damage. Well, what the fuck is this air quotes? Collateral. Is it not collateral damage? Was it the target?
Or targeted strikes. Don't trigger that same response from people.
Targeted strikes. Oh, Israel was. See, he did that for targeted strikes. It doesn't trigger the same response. Well, it fucking shouldn't. It is a targeted strike. There's no air quotes there. They were as much as they were more targeted than United States itself. Where were you guys? Where the fuck were you guys when it comes to civilian casualties when United States was fighting ISIS? We were celebrating United States. The civilian casualties ratios were higher than. They were considered targeted. What the fuck? This is targeted. Israel is performing. The IDF is performing better than your own fucking. You have the world's strongest military, and Israel has managed to do more targeted attacks compared to your American military. What the fuck? It is targeted. It was targeted. What if this was not targeted? What would you call targeted? You want zero civilian casualties? You want Israel to pull a miracle? You want them to pull a miracle? You want Yahweh to show up and just zap these people right there, like the terrorists, without killing any fucking civilian? Which military in the whole fucking planet has been able to conduct such targeted? Would that be targeted? Would that be only? Would you be satisfied? Is that the only way that you will be satisfied that this is targeted? Zero civilian casualties? Zero civilian casualties? If you want zero civilian casualties, then no army anywhere in the world would be able to defend this nation. Of course civilians will die. Fucking hell.
The thing is that, like, if it's your kid on the side of that collateral damage, it probably feels awfully similar. And so when you ask, like, oh,
yeah, well, if my kid is dying, I'm not going to be asking you to do rational analysis of the situation anymore. Okay, of course, whatever. But we're asking you. We're not asking somebody who lost their child.
Oh, are there parades where, for, say, like Israeli hostages or prisoners or whatever they want to call them? No, I have seen Israeli politicians as well as American politicians signing the bombs, including Nikki Haley, before they get launched into Gaza.
How is that equivalent? I mean, okay, let's even call that disgusting if you want. Okay, these were bombs meant for either targeted attacks or non-targeted attacks on areas that have been that the population has been has exited the area. What is the word that I'm trying to use? Why can't I remember the word? What do you call when the population leaves an area? What the fuck? I can't speak today. Right? Help me out here. Yeah, so these bombs were these, I mean, even if you think that designing bombs is disgusting, were those bombs like, oh yeah, let me sign this bomb that you are going to intentionally kill Gazan children with? Oh, evacuated. What the fuck? Yeah, guys. Me no English. No, evacuated, not displaced, no, evacuated. Yeah. The bombs, we either have targeted bombs meant for populated areas aimed to reduce civilian casualties, or blind bombs meant for evacuated areas. So, yeah, I mean, if somebody signs it, I mean, I don't see any problem with that. These are bombs meant to destroy Hamas. But even if you think that's disgusting, how is that even comparable? How is that even comparable? How do you compare signing bombs that are meant to be destroying Hamas with as little as collateral damage as possible to Hamas that intentionally goes after civilians, tries to get the highest number of civilian casualties possible? Bar is saying, thank you for the super chat, Bar. Bar is saying they think we are gods. In a war, innocents die. In a war, innocents die. Yes. I mean, Israel sometimes conducts some amazing intelligence operations that people think like, oh, so you managed to do that. So from now, all your operations have to be godlike then, given that you managed to pull off the beeper operation. You guys are technically gods. Okay, so you better act like gods. You better, since you managed to put, like, it's so interesting. They saw the beeper operation and they're like, wow, so you could do such targeted attack, so no civilians should die anymore, given that you could do such a thing. Motherfucker, that took, do you know how many years of planning that took? Do you understand the level? Do you understand how difficult? Instead of congratulating Israel for managing to pull off an operation with the lowest civilian casualty in the history of warfare, they're like, well, if you can do that, then no civilians should die anywhere from now on. What the fuck? These people are fucking idiots. Fucking idiots, I'm telling you.
I don't know. I mean, I find that pretty sickening also.
Yeah.
And
fuck you for both siding this. We saw the most obvious display of evil by Hamas for a while. I mean, they have done much worse before, to be honest. But this was such an obvious and disgusting display of the evil. And this motherfucker, they come and say like, yeah, Hamas is evil. However, the other side also has done this. How is that even comparable? How is that fucking using dead babies' bodies that you strangled to death as trophies for your own propaganda? You're comparing that to somebody signing a bomb meant for defeating Hamas? Like, this is the most pathetic attempt at both siding it as I've seen. Who the fuck is this motherfucker? And he's supposed to be a conservative American. This is what I'm telling you guys. You know, even the conservatives who defend Israel, a lot of them are fucking idiots, right? The best position, the liberal position, the non-religious, pragmatic, team life, liberal, humanistic defense for Israel is the logical side. Okay, the religious Christian conservative freaking defense for Israel, some of them are fucking like loons themselves. Like I don't like that. There are some people in America that their defense, their so-called defense for Israel, actually makes it more difficult for us to defend Israel, because it makes it easier for the enemies of Israel to be like, oh, look, your defenders are a bunch of religious fucking lunatics. So both sides are just religious lunatics.
Like, to Jenk's point, there is
Oh wait,
like
we got some. Yeah, I already read that one. And also Dipsy just became a member. Well, thank you guys. We're trying to get our memberships to 1,000. I think we're at 200 something. I will have to check. But our membership is growing. If we get to 1,000 members, then this channel will never have any financial problems ever again. So please help us get to 1,000. Thank you. Let's continue.
Don't get me wrong, okay? I'm trying to like be as charitable to you as I can. I would rather be next door neighbors with like an IDF soldier than a Hamas militant, okay? Like, there is a difference between the two.
Yeah, no shit. Fucking oh yeah, there is a difference. Oh yeah. Between somebody there's a difference between somebody who, if he could, would come and behead me while I'm sleeping at night, to somebody who wouldn't. There's a difference between these two. Fucking hell. Wow, what a hot take. Congratulations, man.
But when you're talking about the level of human suffering that Israel has inflicted on the people.
Israel has not inflicted, you fucking shit. You fucking fuck. The level of human suffering inflicted on Gazans is inflicted by Hamas and the rest of the people there with that same ideology. You fucking idiot. How is this? How did Israel inflicted this upon Gaza? Gaza inflicted this upon Gaza. This is the conservative. This is the fucking conservative on the panel. Fucking morons. Fucking morons. Oh, Kenny, thank you so much. Kenny just gifted 1 membership as well. Let me see how many members do we have right now. I'll look. Guys, please support this channel if you can. We are at, wow, we're growing fast. We're at 252. Last time I checked, we were at 240. Our membership is growing, guys. If we get to 1,000, it's done. We're done. We're good. Our membership is growing. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate your support. Anyway, let's continue.
About the level of human suffering that Israel has inflicted on the people who were not members of Hamas, who were probably more victims of Hamas than anyone in Israel was, on larger numbers at least.
Oh yeah, and they were trying to go get them. Oh yeah, IDF was like, oh, let's go specifically. This is what the IDF was saying to itself. Like all the Israeli commanders, they got together like, guys, let's not just go get Hamas. Let's go get specifically the people in Gaza who have no sympathy with Hamas. Oh, dude, we will benefit. We will benefit so much if we go get them. Let's go get the victims of Hamas. How about that? Israel will benefit from taking those people out. Oh, the babies. Oh, they are the most innocent. Oh, the more innocent, the better. Let's just go get those. I'm sure I don't know exactly what, but there's a strategic advantage somehow in there for us. I don't know what, but we're Jewish people, right? So we're just like innocent people. Even if there's no strategic advantage, we're Jews. We just like to do that. Let's just go do it for just kicks and giggles. How about that, huh? Like, I don't know. It might not. It's worth spending so much money on military resources just killing people that are completely innocent and are no threat to us. Every bomb that we drop has cost us millions of dollars. But the joy that we get out of killing Gazan babies, it just makes it worth it. You know what? In fact, the more expensive, the more enjoyable it is. It just makes it. It just my fucking. These. I don't know what La La Land these motherfuckers live in.
There is just I'm sorry, it does seem after a while, like a lot, as I say all the time, a lot of the people on the pro-Israel side just value Israel.
And also, by the way, YouTube, I'm making fun of people who have these ideas. Please do not strike this down. We are anti-violence. We're anti-killing civilians. We're anti-terrorism. I am just showing how ridiculous of a take these people have. That's the point that I'm trying to make. I'm not endorsing killing innocent civilians. YouTube's AI, I don't know how smart YouTube AI is. Please understand that the content of this video is meant to show how ridiculous of a take it is for people to think that Israel is intentionally killing civilians. I'm making fun of it. I'm not glorifying killing of civilians. Is the AI, hey, YouTube AI, are you that smart to be able to recognize that? Like, or are you going to think that I'm actually advocating for it? I mean, maybe I should say that for humans, because some humans actually are so stupid that sometimes think I'm saying that. Oh, Delta, thank you so much for becoming a member. Wow, our membership is growing. Wow, this is great. Thank you guys for being members. I'm going to do more member-only streams to celebrate our growth in membership soon.
Like a lot, as I say all the time, a lot of the people on the pro-Israel side just value Israeli life more than they do Palestinian life. And that is your right. That is your right. You know, I understand, I value my children's life more than I value other children's lives. That's okay. That's my right. It's not reasonable for me to require the law or politicians to value my children's life more than other children's lives.
Okay.
And
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, but if the law wanted to also value, if you want to value either Israeli lives, okay, so these people are like, oh yeah, I understand that Gazan babies, I care about them, but I see why people would be biased. But the law and our policies should be based on consider, even if people on each side is valuing the lives of their own babies more, policy wise or international law wise, we should move above that and consider the lives of Israeli babies equal to the lives of Gazan babies. Okay, that is correct. But you fucking idiots don't understand that whether you value Israeli babies' lives or you value Gazan babies' life, both of them would have to get you to have an anti-Hamas position and a pro-Israeli position. A pro-Israeli position is both in support of Israeli babies and Gazan babies, you fucking idiots. The more you support Israel, the more you're saving Israeli babies and Gazan babies. The more you fight back against Hamas and Hamas's ideology, the more you're saving Israeli lives and Gazan lives. You fucking idiots. This is what you don't understand. But continue.
That's the essence
Okay,
of
let
gender.
me bring in. I want to ask General Kimmett.
Can I just
Hang
respond
on,
very briefly, Piers?
Well, very
Very
quickly,
briefly?
very quickly. Yeah, we're running out of time.
Very quickly. Dave,
Please do not use scripture. Let's see if you have a good take. You had some good takes, lady.
the whole of our civilization is based on the difference between barbaric physical violence inflicted by one human against another and the kind of collateral damage that tragically happens from justified warfare, as long as it is proportionate. Now, we could debate that. We have debated the question of proportion,
But
but the entire
Batia,
yeah, I mean, that's a good point, actually. Let's give it to
happens from justified warfare, as long as it is proportionate. Now, we could debate that.
Okay, that actually was a good take. Let's give it to her.
We have debated the question of
not true.
proportion,
But
but
Batia,
the entire
Batia, hang
Western
on,
civilization is
Batia.
based on that distinction.
Batia, I have
That is
Batia from
not
the start
basis
of this
Western
war.
civilization.
Hang on.
Yes, it is. You fucking look. This guy is this has an American flag behind him, and he doesn't understand the superiority of Western civilization. This woman correctly identified the superiority of Western values, of Western culture, of Western supremacy, and the values that made these countries superior. I mean, she says Western. I usually say liberal. Okay. Because it's not just in the West, it's also in Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Australia, New Zealand. I mean, Australia and New Zealand people say Western as well, but Japan and Taiwan and South Korea, we don't call them Western. They have the same values. So I prefer to say liberal rather than Western. But what tomatoes, Western. Okay, so she completely correctly identified that. But that fucker with the American flag, what kind of a patriot are you? What kind of a patriot are you that you don't understand the superiority of your way of life? Western countries, the liberal way of life. What the fuck is wrong with you? Is this a What has he written? What does he have written on the wall behind him? Is this guy a conservative? You're a shit. Like you're a fucking, embarrassment for conservatives. I thought you guys supposed to be patriotic.
One second.
all.
Hang on. I have said from the start of this war that there were two things that really concerned me. One was proportionality. Right? We know that 1,200 people were killed on October the 7th, and another 7,000 were wounded. The 1,200 were killed, of whom a smallish, relatively smallish number were children. What we've seen, and obviously 250 more were kidnapped, including horrendously a baby and other children, and that was all horrific. And anyone who thinks otherwise, I have no time for. But I always said one or two things. Well, what is proportionate? And it seemed to me about the middle of last year, I began to sense that this was just getting grotesquely disproportionate. But mainly,
How is it disproportionate? How do you even know how you measure proportionality? Do you know proportionality is not based on numbers alone? It's not based on numbers alone. Proportionality is based on the legitimacy of the target, the military target, whether or not it's a justifiable military target, and the effects of taking that target. So, for example, people are like, oh, people say proportionate, but look at the numbers. This is disproportionate because you don't even understand, based on international law, how we define proportionality. If, for example, let's say we have a terrorist commander in a crowd, and around them there are 20 people, and you have a drone with a missile on it, and then the drone takes a picture of the man's face. You use AI to identify it, like, okay, this is the man, this is our guy, this is the terrorist commander, and then you have the missile. But if you take he's in the middle of a bazaar, there's crowded people, and if he gets away, that's it, you're done. You lose the guy, right? For, I don't know, maybe another fucking 20 years, you don't know. And if you take the guy, that's it, you got him. But there's also 20 people around him die. So you make the command comes from the headquarters. They give you a green light. You take a guy out with a missile. 20 people around him die. Right? People like Piers Morgan are like, that's not proportional. There's 1 to 20. You had one combatant, one terrorist, 20 civilians around him. They don't fucking understand. That motherfucker, if he got away, he would be responsible for wars that would continue, that would take down thousands, maybe hundreds, thousands. They will continue the war for years and years and years to come if you manage to let that guy go. So when you want to measure proportionality, it cannot be just on, oh, this was one guy, this was 10 people. You have to also take into account the consequences, the later consequences of not taking that guy in that area. Do you understand that every time Israel has managed to bring long-lasting peace was by crushing its enemies? It was never with ceasefires and negotiations or appeasement. It was always by crushing the enemies that brought lasting peace for both sides. So you keep counting the number of Gazans who are dying because of the military strategies the IDF has in Gaza, but you don't understand that if Israel doesn't finish the job when it comes to paralyzing Hamas, the continuation of this back and forth will kill more Israelis and Gazans for years to come. So don't just count the number of people who are dying in Gaza today. Count the number of people in Gaza that will continue to die if the war does not end with the crushing defeat of Hamas. This is not how you measure proportionality. You have if every single one of these cases has to be investigated separately. If, like, for example, would I say that if was every single attack by Israel military proportional? No. I bet you, if you investigate all of them, there will be some that eventually we were like, okay, this was not proportional. This military target did not justify this many civilian casualties. Okay, I bet you we will find some of them that are like that. However, the overall, every single military would have those military operations will have those examples in them. But however, what is the overall, even without investigating every single one of them, and you cannot make that judgment about any of these operations if you without actually going in and looking at the military target, why was taken, and was that military target justified relative to the collateral damage. You cannot make any judgment about every single one of them individually unless they are investigated like that. However, I could make a judgment about the overall result, even if I don't know which one was justified and which one wasn't. I could say overall, it seemed the vast majority of them must be considered justified, given the lower civilian to combatant ratio casualty. Because if we don't count this as justified, then no army ever in the history has done any justified war ever, and that would mean that any army anywhere in the world, if it wants to abide by this standard, would never be able to defend its country, its border, or its civilians. That's an unreasonable standard that we apply to Jews and no one else when it comes to defending their borders and their country and their civilians. This is the anti-Jewish bias. It could only be the result of anti-Jewish bias. Do you understand what I'm saying? Please tell me you understand what I'm saying. I need you to understand what the fuck I'm saying here, okay?
Because I didn't see that the end game was.
Oh, thank you. Seedman, thank you so much for the generous super chat. Oh, we got one of those orange super chats. That's very generous. Thank you, guys. That's very kind. And then VD became a member. Wow, guys, we have how many members now? We are at 253, I think, or something. Oh, it doesn't count in real time. Okay, but we're growing. We're growing. We're going to get to 1,000 someday.
Was going to be successful. The end game was supposed to be the eradication of Hamas, a terror group. There is no sign that they are eradicated. And in fact, US intelligence, and I'll come to General Kimmett here.
Oh, there's no sign that they're eradicated. Oh, is there any sign that they've been fucking fucked? Like, oh, Hamas, there's no sign that Hamas been eradicated. Piers Morgan, is there any sign that their ass has been handed to them? Is there any sign that they have been humiliated, that they have been crushed, that they have been militarily paralyzed, that their tunnels have been closed, their funding has been stopped, their resources have been blown to pieces, their weapons destroyed? How about that? Do you see the signs of that, you fucking idiot?
The end game was supposed to be the eradication of Hamas, a terror group.
No. The end game is the inability for Hamas to rule over Gaza and the inability for Hamas to ever do anything like October 7th ever again. That is the end game. Like this eradicating Hamas. The only way you could eradicate Hamas is to completely wipe out Gaza. What the fuck are you talking about? Like that, you're asking for genocide.
There is no sign that they are eradicated. And in fact, US intelligence, and I'll come to General.
I mean, guys, look how, if you want to apply the standard to other, so Nazis were not defeated. Guys, I have news for you. If you want to apply the same standard for Hamas to World War II, guys, did you guys know that this is a misrepresentation? This is lies that they say in World War II the Nazis were defeated. They're lying to you. They actually won. Do you know how I know this? Because there are still Nazis. Nazis are still a thing. There are still people with the Nazi ideology somewhere. So, yeah, Nazi Germany was never defeated in World War II. Oh, did you know the Cold War? The communists didn't lose in the Cold War? You know how I know this? Because, surprise, there are still communists. There are still communists. I even know communists. I met communists. This is a lie. The Cold War, the capitalists didn't win the Cold War. In fact, if anything, given that they tried to destroy the communists and they're still communists, that means the communists won the Cold War. So the Nazis won the World War II because the Allies tried to defeat Nazism, and they're still Nazis. So the Nazis won the World War II, and the communists won the Cold War because the Western countries tried to defeat communism, but we still have communists. Do you see how fucking ridiculous of a take this is? Fucking idiots.
Kimmett here about this. The US intelligence reports about a week ago suggested that for every Hamas terrorist who's been killed, they've already been replaced by people with similar ideology. So
they're not replaced. They were always fucking there. Like they were, if you consider this to be replaced, well, they were always Hamas. These people that you call, they say like, oh, for every Hamas that they killed, they have been replaced by people with similar ideology. Then if they have been replaced by people with similar ideology, they were already Hamas to begin with. These people were already anti-Israel. These people who you say replaced the people who were killed, they already wanted the people who you say replaced them. They already were people who wanted to kill every freaking Jew and every single Israeli anywhere in the fucking world. How would you consider this a replacement? They were Hamas to begin with. And you're like, oh, but there's still so many people, so many children there with this ideology. Okay, where are their fucking weapons? Where are their fucking tunnels? Yeah, so what should Israel do? Should Israel not defend itself? Because in the act of defending itself, there are some people who will be even more sympathetic to that cause. Okay, so let's just roll over and fucking die then. Let's just let them come and fucking attack us and not respond, because some people will have the same ideology if we destroy their military capability, their entire command structure, and all their tunnels, because there are people who will still have that idea. Then, well, fuck it. Let's just like roll over and fucking die. Huh? What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, many people there have that same ideology. How are they going to do such military operations without their fucking weapons and without their fucking tunnel and without their fucking military, without their command, their chain of command that they had before? Hamas has been devastated. They have been pushed back at least 2 decades in their advancements. Well, they'll still have their ideology. Well, whoop-de-doo. What are you going to do with that? You're going to shoot your fucking ideology at me? I have you surrounded, you motherfucker. I closed down your tunnels. If anything, if there are more of them, then we have to make sure that Israel is in there, making sure that they cannot rearm themselves. Maybe if you're worried about people having the same ideology there, maybe Israel should go in there and take control over their brainwashing and their education and everything else. Maybe like this, maybe making sure that the next generation, maybe this is why Gaza should be taken. Okay, you know what? Actually, I take all that back. Why do I not let these people just spread their propaganda? It's helping us. You know what? Piers Morgan is right. Hamas is still there. They're more powerful than ever. And, militarily defeating these motherfuckers, it doesn't help because the ideology is still there. You're right. That means that the only solution is the complete occupation of Gaza and the complete control of Israel over their media and their education. That, given what Piers Morgan said, that would be the only solution. Thank you, Piers Morgan. You made my case.
My fear was always that
and people are saying, and one they're saying education is 40-year project. Yeah, I have zero hope for this generation and maybe the generation after. I'm talking about these people who haven't even been born yet in Gaza. That's what I'm talking about.
Proportionate response by Israel would actually fuel the ideology behind Hamas, make them more popular, not less. And in the process, we've seen, as Cenk said,
oh yeah, the bombing makes Hamas more. First of all, that's fucking bullshit. Many people in Gaza are now like, "Fuck this shit. This is not living. Get me the fuck out of here." I don't know. Yeah, are there some people in Gaza who are going to be like, "Okay, I am more convinced that I want to destroy Israel"? Yes, but there are also people who are saying, "Fuck Hamas. Fuck this shit. Hamas has destroyed our life." They're both. So why didn't you see the other side? There are people in Gaza who the bombardments of Gaza has make them more pro-Hamas, and there are people in Gaza who bombardment of Gaza makes them more anti-Hamas. We have both kinds of reaction. Why is this anti-Israeli agenda makes people see only one side? The attempt to condemn Israel's military actions in Gaza makes people see only the people in Gaza who are becoming more pro-Hamas because of the bombardments. They don't see the people in Gaza who are becoming more anti-Hamas because of the bombardment. They refuse. They don't want to see that because they want to both side it. They want to like, yeah, Hamas is evil, but Israel is also not doing any good work. They're not destroying Hamas. They're making Hamas stronger with the bombardments. They're making it stronger. Okay, but yeah, but what about the people in Gaza that are becoming more I mean, do you have the numbers? The numbers I'm saying Hamas is becoming less popular. Hamas is becoming less popular in Gaza. And maybe those numbers are wrong. But how the fuck do you know? What numbers are you working with to suggest that they're becoming more pro Hamas? Is that just your hunch? Are you just going with your gut rather than fucking data?
15,000 children reported now to be killed, and that's just whatever you try and say and by justification, it is unjustified to kill that number of children. It just is.
It's unjustified to. They weren't. It's such a fucking evil, dishonest take to suggest that Israel is killing those babies, killing those children. Look at this. Israel is not saying Israel is killing them. Suggests intentionality. You fucking piece of shit.
And by justification, it is unjustified. That's just whatever you try and say and by justification, it is unjustified to kill that number of children. It just is.
It's unjustifiable to kill that number of children. Israel is not killing those children, you fucking shit. Hamas is killing those children. When you say it's unjustifiable to kill that many children, it suggests that it's implying that Israel is trying to kill those children, you fucking shit.
Isn't it?
Well, I think we're having a little bit of historical myopia here. Maybe I'm just kind of old to remember the fact that we had 3,000 Americans killed on December 7th, 1941 by the Japanese. And by the end of the war, we dropped 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I suspect there were probably about 150 to 250,000 children that were incinerated in that attack alone. So I think that we are perhaps forgetting our own history and what we have done in a scenario of total war for the United States, for Great Britain, and for Western Europe. And candidly, I think it was the right thing to do because it was total war to destroy the Japanese leadership and the Japanese empire. The Jewish state, Israel, believes.
Yeah, a lot of people analyze that if United States didn't drop those bombs on Japan, more people would have been killed from the continuation of that war.
They're at total war with those terrorist groups. But you're absolutely right, Piers. Not only was Hamas.
Yeah, so basically, like, if people recognize that, how do they not recognize that with Hamas? People are like, oh, 50,000 people died in Gaza. Yeah, if you don't respond to October 7th, you're basically putting more civilians on both sides at risk than that number. Do you understand when you don't show your deterrent capability after being attacked, that you're basically telling that it's open borders, open season on my civilians, just come kill Jews and there will be no response? Do you understand the invitation to genocide that you're sending to all your enemies if you don't respond in such a powerful way to an attack on your country when something like that happens? A lot of people are so short-sighted that they just see the number of people that are being killed in the response. They don't see the consequences of not having a strong response and the number of civilians that you're putting at risk without showing your deterrent capabilities. Guys, please understand this. Any peace and stability and lack of civilian casualties that you see anywhere in the world, not just between Israel and Gaza, anywhere in the world, is because of the understanding of the other side's deterring capabilities. And if anybody is challenging and testing your deterrence capabilities, if you fail to demonstrate that you have that, you are destroying that balance, you are destroying peace and stability, and you're putting civilians on all sides and everywhere in the world at risk. This whole demonstration of deterrence capability has brought the world order that we know of today. The peace and stability that we enjoy after World War II is with the understanding of people understanding its deterrent capabilities. That's why you have to show it to the whole world when you're being challenged to maintain that stability. And that's how Israel managed to get peace with other Arab countries before.
Hamas celebrating that, but remember today, Hezbollah was celebrating the death.
Yeah, and people, Jean is pointing, Sarah is pointing out, but look how good Japan and U.S. relationships are today. Exactly. Maybe you should, yeah, exactly. And look at how Israel, I mean, every time, United States managed to crush Germany, and Germany and United States are allies now. United States managed to crush the imperialist Japan, and now Japan and United States are allies. Israel crushed the Arab countries that came at it multiple times to completely annihilate all Jews in its history multiple times. And we are now seeing a path to, we have a peace deal with Egypt and Jordan, and we might see normalization of ties with all these Arab countries because Israel was victorious. This is how you get peace, by crushing the people who challenge peace.
Death of Hassan Nasrallah, and it sure looked like there were a lot of Hezbollah operators still fighting. It's the terrorist calculus, kill one, create two. But in terms of the notion of, number one, the Israeli response to the Hamas attack on October 7th, they see it as total war. They are fighting as if it is total war, the same way America did the same in 1941 to 1945 against the Japanese alone. We lost 3,000. They lost 1 million. We dropped 2 nuclear weapons on Japan.
Yeah, I think you make very good points. Joe Walsh, final word to you.
I don't think so.
Okay, we've run out of time, sadly, but Joe, final word to you.
Just real quickly, I agree with Betya. The ideology, the hatred of Jews was there before October 7th. The belief that Israel does not have a right to exist was there before October 7th. It didn't need October 7th to go off the charts. There will never be peace in this region as long as the Palestinian people, Piers, not just Hamas, do not believe Israel has a right to exist. Period.
But there will also never be.
Wow. Okay, guys, a completely based take. Thank you, whoever this guy is. I don't know.
Hamas do not believe Israel has a right to exist. Period.
But there will also never be.
It's just nonsense.
There will also
Palestine
never be.
doesn't exist. When is it going to get through your thick heads that Palestine doesn't exist because of the murderous terrorist state of Israel? How many?
Fuck you. The so-called murderous state of Israel had given the opportunity for Palestinians over and over again, give them the opportunity to be a country. Every fucking time they said no for one fucking reason, because they refused to accept Israel being a country as well. The Palestinian side, every single time they refused to have a country if it meant that they also have to accept Israel being a country. They destroyed the future of their own children when given the opportunity to become an independent nation state with the right to self-determination and their own government and their own representative. They robbed their own children from a future where they could control their own destiny for the sake of denying Israelis their own country. Fuck you, Cenk. Fuck you. You know this. You must know this. I'm actually being convinced now that he might actually be doing this on purpose. Maybe no one was right about this. Let me actually bring up, I have a list of peace offers that was made towards Israel. Yeah, okay, here's a... Yeah, okay, I have a list. Okay, so listen to it one more time. Listen to this fucking liar. He's saying that Israel has now correctly come to the conclusion that these people do not deserve a country. They're not mature enough to have a country. They were offered peace over and over and over again. They acted genocidal. They took that opportunity away from themselves. They cannot be trusted with a country. They don't even want a country. They want the annihilation of Israel and every single Jew more than they want a country for themselves. They are willing to, if the cost of annihilating Israel is them losing a country, but also losing their own fucking lives and their own children's lives, they are so willingly and gladly going to pay that cost. Do you understand this? This area is filled with people who are willing to not only give the opportunity of having a country for the sake of genocide on Jewish people, but they're willing to pay the price of their own lives and their children's lives gladly, willingly. They gladly and willingly bring children to this world. They give birth for the sake of dying. Not for the sake of dying. Here's an interesting part. Many times, not for the sake of dying to destroy Israel, but for the sake of dying in the hand of Israelis, so the world hates Israel. There are mothers in Gaza who give birth to die so that their death could bring hatred to Israel. Do you understand how fucked up and messed up that is? It's not Israel's fault that these people don't have a country. It's their own fucking fault, you piece of shit. Listen to this.
Doesn't exist. When is it going to get through your thick heads that Palestine doesn't exist because of the murderous terrorist state of Israel? How many slaughtered children?
Okay, let's I have the list, okay? Let's examine the point. It's because he says that Palestine doesn't exist because of the murderous state of Israel, okay? Let's look up. 1947. This is before Israel was a country, okay? The UN partition plan. Jews accepted a two-state solution, but Arab leaders rejected it, leading to war. Oh no, this is after, because actually this was missing one. There was also one before 1947. I think it was called the Piers plan, that the Arabs would have gotten 80%, more than 80% of the land. And they rejected that. They were saying like nothing for Israelis, right? Nothing for Jewish people. Do you guys understand that the Arabs, even if you partition the whole area, 99% to Arabs and 1% to Jewish people, they would say no even to that? Because I know that because they did say no to that. They did say no. They would say no to that. Basically, they would accept no plan, no two-state solution if it means that Jews get to have a country. So that was that was the first one. Then in 1949, Israelis sought permanent peace, but Arab nations refused, insisting Israelis' existence was illegitimate. 1967, this was post the Six-Day War. This is number 3. Israel offered land for peace. Arab League responded with the 3 no's. No peace, no recognition, no negotiations. 1978, this was the Camp David Accords. Framework for Palestinian self-rule was offered but rejected by Palestinian and the broader Arab world. The 2000 Camp David Summit. Israel offered a stake in Gaza and West Bank with East Jerusalem as the capital. Yasser Arafat rejected it without a counter proposal. 2001 Taba Summit, I think it's pronounced. Israel offered more concessions, including nearly all West Bank and Gaza, but Palestinian negotiators walked away. 2007 Annapolis Conference. Israeli Prime Minister offered Abbas almost all of West Bank and Gaza, which shared Jerusalem. Abbas stalled and didn't agree. 2020 Trump peace plan proposed Palestinian state with economic aid. Palestinian Authority refused any plan to recognizing Israel. In every single one of these examples, if there was any recognition of Israel as a nation state, they would refuse to accept the deal. This means the Palestinian side. I counted 8, and this is not an exhaustive list. Actually, there was more even before Israel was a country. I can't. So there's at least 8 opportunities for Palestinians to have their own country. Every single fucking time they said no, because Israel would have been able to. They would have to recognize Israel as a country as well. Every time. So don't tell me that Palestinians don't have a country because of Israel. Palestinians don't have a country because of Palestinians themselves. In fact, you know what? There is no such thing as a Palestinian. Palestinian is not an identity that there's an identity that we refuse to recognize from now on. Okay, you're just Arabs living in Gaza. Okay, and you have no identity that ties you to that land. You're just Arabs living in Gaza. There was no such thing as a Palestinian identity. You made this shit up, and we tried to play a game and recognize that identity. We refuse to play that game anymore. There is no such thing as a Palestinian.
Exist because of the murderous terrorist state of Israel. How many slaughtered children do you need before you say, oh, right, the Palestinians don't exist? And are the Palestinians in the middle of that slaughter as 15,000 of their children were lit on fire by Israel? Are they supposed to
You keep saying that. You have no points. You keep bringing up that
love
number.
Israel? Is that the ludicrous, insane demand? Oh, you don't love us enough. We're going to kill more of your children. No,
Well,
this is all of that's just
Japanese
propaganda.
I think
And
the
General,
bottom
I'm
line
sorry,
is the
but
bottom line is
the Mongols
at the
killed
end of this, you
800,000
only
people in Baghdad because it was all-out war. That doesn't mean Israel should do it. That doesn't mean the U.S. should do it
you
today.
only get to peace when the Palestinian people have the same rights, human rights, as everybody else around them, and that has
Okay. The Palestinian rights refuse pathways to get those rights. Look at this. No, you only get to peace, as Israeli Prime Minister said. You only get to peace when Palestinians love their children more than they hate Jews. This is a saying. I think somebody in the live chat actually mentioned this. Yeah, Golda Meir said this. Golda Meir said once that what she specifically, I think it was her. She said this, right? That you get to peace only when they love their children more than they hate Jews. That's when you get peace. Piers Morgan. The way that he look at them. Look at Piers Morgan. He comes here and he says he blames Hamas, but at the end of the day, this shows that he is more anti-Israeli than he's more anti-Hamas. You see this? This last line by Piers Morgan shows that he thinks that the main block to peace is because of Israel, because Palestinians have not been given the rights that they deserve. The only reason why we're not there, you fucking idiot, is because Palestinians stopped every single attempt to give Palestinians their right that they don't actually want. They don't want those rights. They don't want those rights. They want the destruction of Jews and Israel more than they want their rights. Fucking idiots. They don't understand. They think people are, these people, they're like, oh, all humans are the same. We all want the same things. We don't want the same things. People are not the same. These people are not like us. You think, well, all people, they just want peace and stability and just to be able to have safety for their children. No, these people are different. These people prefer the destruction and killing of Jews over peace and stability for themselves. When will you This is why you still think that there's an appeasement, that there's a negotiation that is going to save us. When you're facing with such evil, you don't negotiate with such evil. You crush such an evil. When the enemy that you're dealing with uses its own suffering, it tries to suffer more so that you hate this enemy. You cannot appease such an enemy. You cannot promise this enemy less suffering to accept your terms, because it doesn't want less suffering. It actually wants more suffering for its people because it uses that suffering. That's why you cannot negotiate with such an enemy. Guys, even the fucking Nazis were not like that. You can crush the Nazis because even as evil as the Nazi general is, if its child dies, it goes home and cries at night because its child died. A Nazi general doesn't give birth to children so that they get killed, so that the other side could look more evil than it. This is a completely different kind of evil that we're dealing here with. There's no negotiating. There's no appeasement with such evil. I mean, there wasn't even negotiating with Nazis, let alone these motherfuckers. And no, this is the guys. This is not an anti-Arab and anti-Muslim position. This is, in fact, if anything, if you want to crush these people, the alliance that Israel is making with the Arab countries in the region is actually going to crush them. It's going to isolate them. Okay, don't get tempted to come and say like, "Oh, fuck Arab," blah blah blah. That is not. I mean, even that is not only a. That's not even a strategic. Even if you don't care about morality and shit, strategically, that's not a correct position to take. You want the ideology in Gaza to be completely isolated from the rest of the Arab and Muslim world. So you actually have to, the only way that you could isolate them, because the rest of the Arab and Muslim world is becoming more worldly every freaking year. Even if they're named Muslim, you know, more and more they're focusing more on this world, on wealth, on prosperity, on economics, rather than the afterlife. And the cult that is in Palestine is more Islamic, is more focused on the akhirah, the afterlife, than the rest of the Arab and Islamic world. And because of the rest of the Arab world is more interested in living than fucking dying, is slowly moving from team death to team life. We have to take advantage of that. We have to actually welcome that so that we could isolate that death cult that is in Gaza. Let's see the rest of this.
Has been the running saw in this conflict, and you can make a great argument for both sides throughout the 75 years. But the one, to me, unarguable point is that Palestinians in Gaza in particular have been living with diminished human rights to their neighbors. And that can
diminish human rights that who took away from them? The state that they elected, that prioritized killing Jews over building Gaza, is responsible for them not having any fucking rights, you idiot.
Cannot be allowed to continue going forward. And it's going to be,
yeah, that can, if you want that not to continue, then support Israel in fucking annihilating that ideology. So that means that the military action by Israel is necessary but not enough. Complete surrender and occupation of Gaza is required to completely deroot, is that a word? Deroot that ideology from the minds of future generations in Gaza.
Incredibly difficult to get to any lasting peace, incredibly difficult to get to a two-state solution. Everybody
fuck the two-state solution. You know, guys, from now on, anybody that suggests a two-state solution is not serious. Uproot, thank you. Uproot, thank you. Anybody that even remotely considers even slightly the two-state solution as a likely pathway here is given the conditions that we have right now. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in the future if the conditions change, but given what we're dealing with right now, anybody that expresses any interest in the two-state solution is either a fool or is lying to you. They're not a serious person.
knows that. But ultimately, you've got to afford the Palestinian people the same basic human rights that we all enjoy. And then
how could you do that when they don't value their own lives? How could you show, guys, I try on this channel to humanize, even if it's very difficult. I go find people in Gaza that have an anti-Hamas perspective, and I bring them here to try to humanize them, because I don't want to be like Hamas. I don't want to generalize. I don't want to condemn an entire population. This channel, as strongly as pro-Israeli that we are, we have tried everything we can to humanize, even if it's difficult, the Gazan population that is anti-Hamas, to show sympathy, to show care, to see their death as casualties, as tragedies. We have done this, but it makes it, I have to admit that they make it so difficult when they don't value their own lives, when at least I don't want to generalize, when a huge portion of that population doesn't value the lives of their own children above the death of Jews. How could you care? How could I mean, I do care, to be honest, but how could I ask other people to care as much as I do when they see that they don't care for their own lives. How could you care for people's lives that don't care for their own lives? When you have such celebration of death, how could I celebrate people's lives when they celebrate their own death? For me to be able to be successful in promoting the celebration of God's life, they have to celebrate life themselves first. This is why it's so much easier to sympathize and relate to the Israeli side, because they're on team life. It's harder to do that with the people in Gaza. And this is so unfair for the minority of people in Gaza who are on the side of life. I know it's unfair to them, and I know they exist. And I try to highlight them. I do this on this channel. But you have to admit, I know why this is a difficult job to do this for other people. People can't relate to such a death cult. And people's minds do generalize. The human mind generalizes. I could ask them not to, but they would. It's hard to work with this. It's hard to work with this. If you want more people to sympathize with Gazans, they have to change their culture. When they look at the people of Gaza, they have to see something that shows their humanity, that shows some similarities, that makes them relatable. We have to get more of that. Every time I saw anything like that, I went hunting for it. But I don't have much to work with. It's hard. It's hard to do this with the people of Gaza. What do you expect from the world? The way the human mind works, to get sympathy, you have to get relatability. You might think it's unfair that you require that, but that's how the human mind works. Anyways, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Oh, Ahmed, thank you for the super chat. Oh, Sarah is highlighting here. Sarah, thank you. I know it's hard for you to come sometimes and highlight, but I really appreciate you being here. You don't know how. Jean, and thank you, Jean, for highlighting at the beginning, and now Sarah was highlighting. Really appreciate both of you guys. You have no idea. These are these are our volunteers, and this show would not be able to be the way it is without our volunteers. So thank you to both Jean and Sarah for being here. Ahmed, thank you for your super chat saying Palestinian is the only ally. What? Yeah, is the only ally that didn't denazification. I'm not entirely sure what you're saying here, but I think other people might understand it better than I have. But sorry if I didn't get it. And thank you for the super chat. Okay, so these are the comments that Jean and Sarah start for me to read. They thought it was important that I read these. So let's just keep it at that. Don't add to it anymore. YB saying, I don't watch Piers anymore when I see the promo is with Cenk, who claims to be an atheist but spews his Islamist hate nonstop. Okay, guy, I do not agree with that. I think you should watch people who have the bad takes so that you become better equipped in responding to them. Okay, don't just go follow people who you are. This is why, okay, even if you can't listen to them, come at least watch this channel, because I will bring them to you and I will show you how to respond to them. Okay, because we have to be very knowledgeable and understanding about the narratives of the enemies of team life, right? The people who are on the other side. Amikai is saying, I'm sorry that I won't be able to watch this today, but don't forget to lick the stream and also boycott Piers Morgan. I don't agree with guys. If you want to boycott Piers Morgan, then come watch them through this channel. Okay, I really do prefer us listening to people we disagree with, right? So I can't pronounce your name, sorry, it's in Hebrew. Guys, not that I'm good at reading English names. Who am I kidding? But Bibos family. So the comment says Bibos family relative sues Al Jazeera, the Qatari royal family's propaganda engine and Hamas's mouthpiece for its complicity in the murder of Shiri, Ariel, and Kafir, now being laid to rest in Israel. Okay, I haven't seen the details of that case or whether or not it makes sense or not. So I don't know how to comment on it because I haven't investigated. But we'll see what happens to that case. Brett is saying the propaganda machine is Zio Nazi, like you, Armin, LOL. Guys, look at the level of the high IQ responses. I mean, these people come here and they have a chance to actually give me a criticism that would make you guys think, that maybe make us consider that maybe you have the wrong position here. But again, this is the strongest criticism that they have of me. I mean, it's good. It's good. I'm glad that you are starting this, because it just shows how low level our opposition is. And look at this guy. The guy has like, look at the logo that he has. It shows how the anti-Semitic, the propaganda, the conspiracy theorists. It's fucking. I love that they come here, because it's good to show the anti-Israeli hate that is there. So Brett is also saying propaganda is all Zionists have, because truth and reality are with Palestine. Yeah. So you can see no arguments, no evidence, no, like, there's no attempt to provide any reason for people to convince them. They just have like chance. They just have these lines that just keep repeating. I mean, it's good to see that they're not even attempting to convince anybody, because you can see, like, throughout the show, I give you arguments, I give you the evidence that you could look. I mean, the evidence that I referred to you in this show, at least I've showed it multiple times to you before on other streams, right? But I give you all my reasonings and all the evidence for why we believe in what we believe in. But the other side, they just come and they just drop these lines, no attempt at convincing, right? I mean, I think this is also an admission that they have no logic on their side, because if they did, they would actually present it. It's good. It's good. It's a good reminder that they come here and they demonstrate this. So another comment says, Trump Gaza trolling AI posted by Trump. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know if I could play that, because it's AI music. Can I play AI music on YouTube? I don't know if it's copyrighted or not. You cannot copyright AI music. Should I? Do you guys want to show me? Let me know in the live chat if you want to see Trump's recent post on Gaza. Susanna sent me that, and I was like, did I just wake up, or am I watching a dream? It's like so unreal. Let me actually show it to you guys. It's so unbelievable. I cannot believe this is real. So this was posted by Trump on Truth Social. Do you guys want to see it? Okay, the people are saying show us. Okay, show. Okay, so this. So look at the caption. The caption says, this thing was posted from Trump's Truth Social account. Okay, so let me full screen it. Guys, be ready, because this was something. Okay, so let's watch it together.
Donald's coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1.
The United States president posted this. The president of the United States of America posted this. What is it like? What a time to be alive. What the fuck is happening? Is this real? Is this fucking real? Like, am I dreaming? Like what the, like, so look at the lyrics. What the fuck is saying? Trump.
Donald's coming to set you free, bringing
Donald Trump is what? Deception free?
the light for all to see. No more
Bringing the light for all to see.
tunnels, no more fear.
No more tunnels, no more fear.
No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is
Okay, so guys, what the hell? I thought these people were anti-woke. This is a very inclusive Gaza. Like, we have belly dancers with beards posted by Trump. Is this the queers for Palestine? So the future of Gaza has also room for queers for Palestine apparently moving in. I guess like what the hell is happening? Like what? It's a very inclusive Gaza. Bearded belly dancers will be there.
Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright.
Trump Gaza shining bright.
Golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1. Trump Gaza shining bright. A golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1.
What is happening? What is happening? How is this real? How is the politics of the most powerful, the president of the most powerful country in the world is trolling AI posting? What the hell is? How is this thing real? I don't get it. Is this disconnect? Okay, I don't know what I just watched. Okay, yeah. Trump Gaza #1. Okay, sure. I guess that could be real. I guess this could be part of politics now. Sure, why not? Why not? What the? Okay. Well, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, I still can't shake that off. Okay. What was saying? Progressive anti-Zionism is the what? Poisonous legacy of Cold War hatred. Progressive anti-Zionism. Yeah. Okay, I can agree with that. Atheists of the world, two states hypothesis has been tried many times. Israel even gave land for peace many times. Islamists want to no Jews states. Yes, I actually demonstrated that with the examples I gave. So that was good. Oh, we got a super chat by Ging saying troll level POTUS. Yeah, exactly. This is what we were missing. A troll posting president. This is a okay, I don't know how to judge this. No, I'm saying Golden Mirror. Oh yeah, I already addressed that. And then Spotlight is saying, Armin, do you see yourself from outside? Are you conscious of your behavior? You seem Jew, not a Persian atheist. Wow. Spotlight, do you see yourself from outside? Do you want to look at your behavior and read your own comment one more time? So, supporting Israel's right to defend itself and right to life is a Jew behavior. And also Persia. Who the fuck gives a shit that I'm Persian? Who cares about my ethnicity? Like, are you fucking serious? Like, do you have any level of self-awareness? Is this troll posting? Is this just are you trolling or are you this stupid? Maybe just read your own comment one more time. You think my care for other people's safety and stability? I mean, even if I didn't care about Israel, do you understand that Israel is standing up to an evil that wants to come for the rest of the world? So this would be supporting Israel would be out of the self-interest for everyone else, even if you were such a shit person that only cares about their people with their own ethnicity. Like, is this not a fucking racist take that I have to check people's ethnicity before I see if I should defend them or not? Holy fuck, man. Like, please apply what you just said to your own comment. Can you read your own comment and see how you're valuing people's lives based on shared ethnicity rather than their humanity? Are you fucking serious? And you think you're on the right side of this? Holy fuck, man. And look at level of confidence. Like, we have like racist shit here with such level of confidence, thinking that they're on the right side of things. And you seem Jew? Like, are you using Jew as an you seem Jew? What a fucking jerk. Like, are you considered being Jew? Like, you're talking about it as if it's a disadvantage. Like, how should I speak to demonstrate being I don't know. Maybe I'm not a person that sees his ethnicity as influential in how I speak or as any important part of my identity. Don't you watch this show? You have been here for a while. You know that if it comes to collective identities. I've always advocated for national identities over ethnic identities. Who do you think you're talking to? You have no fucking, like, oh my God, you're so fucking lost. Unbelievable. And the confidence, such shit takes, and then with such confidence. This last comment. Shop on a Dime is saying, Spotlight is that, what? That Spotlight, is that your, oh, you're talking to that person. Is that your theory for everything too? Blame the Jews? It's getting damn old. Yeah. Just like, oh, Armin, you sound like a Jew. Fucking disgusting. You are disgusting. Such a disgusting person. How do you even, oh, anyways. Okay, guys, don't forget to like the stream. I think we did a good job here. Thank you for being here, guys. We did good. This was good teamwork. Again, I really appreciate Sarah and Jean for being here, helping out, and the rest of you in the live chat. I really appreciate the people who did the super chats and became members. But please understand that you should not be financially supporting us unless you are financially secure yourself. Everyone else, please support us by liking the stream. The likes make a huge difference in growing a channel. If you like more, this channel grows faster, okay? So don't think that if you're not supporting us financially that you cannot support us. Liking and also commenting after the show. The comments are even more influential than likes. After the show is over, leave a comment after as well. That is a huge booster to this channel. So please do it. It's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything. However, for the people who are financially secure, please consider becoming a member. If we get to 1,000 members, all of the problems that we are facing with this channel will go away, and we will be able to freely and securely, without any stress, be able to continue to do. Me and Susanna will be able to continue to do our work here, okay? And the rest of you, and D also. D is doing fantastic work. Everybody, thank you. So like, share, subscribe, promote this channel. Word of mouth really helps to grow this channel. So and also admit that we did a very good job. Like when it comes to like going through line by line and fucking demolishing these fucking anti-Israeli takes, I don't see other people doing such an effective work in any other channel. So this is a very educational channel here. We're doing such good work, and we do deserve, I know that we do deserve your support. So please go ahead and do that. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna head out, and love you guys, and thank you for being here. And I'm Israel Kai. Am I saying the Kai right? Is it Hi or Kai? I hear both of it. It's Hi, right? I'm Israel Hi. Is it H or is it? I'm Israel. I'm just gonna say I'm Israel Hi. All right. Love you guys.